Hey there, this is Katsu, and this is a guide on how to get a Winterspring Frostsaber. Um, Let me just say one thing, I'm recording this in one take, live at a special moment in time, which is as I am just about to get that thing. So, bear with me if I'm making any mistakes here, if I'm not being entirely clear, but I'm a little bit hyped right now. So, yeah, let's do this. I'm playing a mage, and I'll go over what I think is important for you guys to know if you want to do this as well. Because I had a blast doing this. It took about somewhere between 180 and 200 hours. But there's a lot of little things you can learn and take away from this video that helped me a great deal. Some of those I learned earlier, some of them I learned really late, but all of it is good to know. So let's get right to it. The first thing to know is, as a mage, you have a very big advantage over other classes, and that's your ice barrier. As you can see here, I'm always using that because it makes it a lot less likely to get dismounted. I'm actually not sure if it prevents it entirely. Might be. But I'll talk about it again in a second. I'm also playing in a group, and I'll talk about this again as well, because it's by far the most important thing. You do not want to take this journey on alone. I started, and I told to myself, yeah, I'm gonna do this without any help. Forget it. Just forget it. This is a social challenge, and you'll see why in a bit. So, I'll start with my gear. My gear is pretty much irrelevant outside of three pieces, which is the carrot, my boots, which have the mithril spurs on it, makes you again travel faster in your mount, and the glove enchant, which again gives you mount speed increase. I think all of those together is like maybe 11%, if I'm not mistaken, and you will notice that. Other than that, you can do this with anything. Doesn't really matter what you have as long as you're able to kill the mobs. But killing stuff fast here is irrelevant as well. The whole journey begins with only one quest, which is this one, Frostsaber Provisions, which means you're supposed to kill bears. These ones over there, or chimeras, which are these ones. They drop meat at about a chance of 30%, I think, and you have to hand in 5 of each until you have 1,500 out of 3,000. I think that's like neutral or something. Once you've done that, you move on to the quest that you will be doing for the vast majority of the time, which is Winterfall Shaman, and that is here on the map in this little, Furbolg village. And your challenge is to kill 5 shamans, 5 of these guys, as well as 5 ursas. And that is the one quest you will be doing. You get a third one much later, which is called Rampaging Giants. I think you get that if you're like, I think Honored it's called in English. But that is here. You would have to travel all the way down here into this valley and kill giants, go back. These giants are elite, you can't do it alone. It takes freaking forever. You do not ever want to do that quest. So you only do this one basically, with a few exceptions that I'll talk about in a second. You're witnessing a pretty outstanding round of this whole thing. Normally it takes a while, but again, in a group with a couple of people who know what they're doing, you will save a lot of time because you will get whatever your mates are killing. The range on this is pretty large, so don't worry too much. As long as you're like close to this camp, you'll get anything that will get killed. And that's pretty much what you do. You have to travel all the time from this one little NPC that is located on Frostsaber Rock down to this camp over here, and repeat this quest 800 something times. I have not kept track of this. I suggest you don't do that either because it's discouraging. Just, you know, just keep working on it and do it as much as you like doing it. So a couple things. We just finished this one cycle. You can see stuff popping up on the map, not important right now. So we're going back. And you can see we're working in a group. I have to apologize to these guys. They don't know yet that they'll be in the video, and I hope they'll be okay with it. But all of those guys helped me a ton with this, especially Elton. You need to work together. So here's the first important thing I'm doing as a mage. I'm dismounting here, blinking, recasting my ice barrier, remounting. Why am I doing this? So you need to get down that cliff anyway. I'm pretty much traveling across a straight line here. I don't deviate, I don't ride any curves. You need to get down there anyway, and the fastest way is just to jump and blink. And you recast the ice barrier, and because you have 1 minute on this cast, it means you will have this up all the way through the next part, which is the sabers. You're trying basically to take the fastest way possible from the camp to the Frostsaber rock, and you know, don't ride any curves or this. Just go straight. Don't change this. I don't think the others are doing it like this, but this is by far the best way. Ignore the mobs, cast your ice barrier, and just go straight. You will not get dismounted, and as you can see, we'll make it almost out of this. And then there's like only one tiger left that can potentially dismount us, this one here on the left. But if you ride a bit to the right, you'll be fine. That's the way to go here. I have two gathering professions that I trained specifically for this journey, which is herbalism and mining. For the simple reason that you'll spend about 200 hours here and you will make a lot of money with this. Now for the way back. There's two ways of going back. I'm taking the slow way. Slow is you jump down, you blink, recast your ice barrier, you mount up, and then you switch to mining. The reason why I kept herbalism there is because underneath of the Frostsaber rock there's a spawn spot for a black lotus. So you always want to have herbalism up when you go there. And then you go a bit to the left. There, here on the left side, there could be a rich thorium vein, I think it's called. Deposit, no, rich thorium deposit. Then you go over here, because there can be another one over here. And that's about it. Again, the priority is not mining. We're not, collecting thorium. We're just trying to go for a decently efficient route to go back to the camp. And checking these two locations is worthwhile, because I think every like 5th or 10th, somewhere around every 5th run that you take, you will find something there. And then you switch to herbalism, because you will find ice caps pretty much everywhere. You can choose to loot them, and you will have plenty. I am now reaching the limits of a full bank character, full of ice caps and mountain silver sage, simply because you just spend so much time here, you get an infinite amount of these. I'm no longer picking them up because I really just want to get this done. There's like 200 points left. Otherwise I would make short stops. But it's definitely worthwhile to do this. Skinning I had at first while I was doing the first quest where you have to collect the the meat from these guys. That is alright. See, I was out of my ice barrier and they dismounted me. Unfortunate. Anyway. The others are still behind. They don't have epic mounts, which you don't need, but it's nice to have. But something to take into account, which means I have time here. I'll kill these bears. It's unfortunate that they dismounted me, but it's kind of... I mean, they choose their own destiny, I suppose. So we get these out of the way, and if we're lucky, collect some meat at the same time. I'm gonna get that silver sage as well. Oh, and we get some meat, that's great. Yeah, the others are still somewhat behind, which means we're not in a hurry. Ah, well, that can happen. Oh well. The other day that happened with a Lotus. That was frustrating, but yeah. All right. Now, the important point, if you're playing in team, is that you never want to start doing this alone. You never want to start this quest alone, because it's important to finish at the same time. So you have zero benefits of being ahead of your team. So what I'm now doing is I'm basically wasting time. I'm picking these mobs down here. You could farm, you know, the meat anywhere. You're annoying, go away. But these are of lower level, so they're a little bit quicker to take out, and you have to take out a lot of these, so it's worthwhile to do it down here. And I can wait for my other guys to catch up. Again, they don't have epic mounts, they have normal mounts, but that is not an issue. Like, you do not need an epic mount to do this. It is, I mean, advantageous because they don't get to do what I'm doing right now. I have these couple of seconds to kill a few mobs, and I will accumulate some meat and hand in faster. But I think we're roughly talking like maybe 5% that you're faster compared to somebody without an epic mount. Maybe 10%, but then I'm generous. It's really not important. So yeah, they're almost here. So what I'm doing, oh, this is nice. Rich thorium, 3 shamans. What's the priority here? Well, priority is tagging everything, because usually you're not alone, and we really want these shamans. They're the bottleneck of this whole quest line. We need to mark them all, and then we just, you know, stall a bit, because the others are fairly close already. I'll talk a bit over this about the spawn spots in a second, but for now what's important is that we have them all marked for our team. And again, yeah, there's a rich thorium over there, but this is not that's not the point. The point is questing together and helping your team. So having them all marked, let's finish these off. Everybody got the 3 shaman kills. Great. Now this dude, yeah, let's kill him too. Oh yeah, okay, my friend got it. Perfect. Because I kind of want that here as well. Alright, so we now have 5 shamans after like a minute. That's only possible in a team. And I have some thorium. And the sheep that, yeah, we'll just ignore. Now there's something else that happened. Okay, there's another shaman here. Do not kill this guy. Just leave it alone. Like, we do not need another shaman for this quest. And usually you're not alone here. There's other guys, like this hunter, for example. I don't know what he's doing here. I've seen him before, but I'm sure he has good reasons for being here, same as these guys. And if I kill that shaman, probably their screen looks like mine, maybe for another quest, but killing this guy would make them stay here longer. Oh, cool. So we just finished this really quickly. So I would hurt myself if I would take out this shaman. Just leave it and let somebody else have it. It's better than taking it yourself. And then we go back. Again, most efficient way to go back, I aim for this tree over there and start riding immediately. One thing you want to do is, if you're done with your quest, the way we keep it in our group is you just write a little plus in chat so that everybody else immediately knows you're done. And then everybody else checks whether or not they are also done. Then they write the plus as well, or they write something like 1U or 1S, indicating that they need 1 more. You can miss them if you're too far away. It doesn't happen too often, but it's important to communicate quickly, because then you can decide. You'll just just hang around and make it easier for them to tag it as well. Same thing here. Refreshing my shield, remounting, and again going just for the straight line, so that we're not wasting time. There's space in between the trees. That's usually what I'm aiming for. That would be one sort of cycle of this. Now we got really lucky just now. That was super fast. Usually it isn't, and you've spent quite a bit of time in that camp. Right now I'm actually hoping for that, so that I can demonstrate to you what to do when that happens. But well, you gotta take a win when you get one for free. Going back to the mount issue, I've had discussions with people who had small mount, who had the epic mount, others who didn't. There's one good reason, I would say, for having an epic mount, and that is if you actually care about mining or herbalism a bit more than you care for the whole grind. Because it has happened to me more than once that the mount speed made the difference in reaching a node or not. Again, you can say that's, well, lucky or unlucky. You're correct. But I don't know. It's, yeah. It's better to have it than not. Now we're gonna take the fast way back, and this is here. We'll just jump down the other side, blink as well, cast our shield, mount up, and then we go over this hill. We have to aim for this point because over there on the left you can't go up, and then we aim next to this tree and just go straight, and that's it. There's a very good reason why I'd say you should get an epic mount, and that is if you really commit to this grind, you will make a shitload of money. You will get money from herbalism, from mining. You also have the mobs that you will loot. They drop plenty of rune cloth. You can easily get another faction to Exalted if you haven't already done so. I did Thanatos first, but doesn't matter. You will need Thanatos Exalted eventually, so it's a good idea to just take all the rune cloth that you find along the way and just put it into Thanatos. You'll pretty much be set to acquire the mount when you need to, but you'll also get enough money to be able to buy it, because you still need to buy it at the end. Again, dismounted, same spot. You can guess why. I should have had enough mana there. Well, misplayed a little. But it's not a big deal. Again, I have no advantage from being any faster than I am. The advantage I'm getting from the mount is this farming time. The extra sort of progress towards the second quest, which is worthwhile. Yes, more meat, nice. And while we're off the mount, we might as well pick up this one. There's also a good reason to do this. Again, the guys need a bit longer, but you always want to use your mana. You don't want to run around with full mana, so it makes sense. If you're decently ahead and there's a bunch of mobs, you just pull them together, AoE them, use your cold snap and whatnot, just to farm towards the second quest as well, because eventually that will get you what you need. Yeah, this one will de-aggro before I'm here. Still use the barrier. Alright. Now, there's a couple of side effects to doing this grind, which are very, very good. Very nice. For example, one, by leveling herbalism and mining, I had, before this I was skinning and tailoring. Just leveling herbalism and mining gives you enough plants as well as minerals to be able to fully level alchemy as well as engineering. That's what I'm planning to do next. You get so much thorium here that you'll easily be able to get your engineer to 300 if you want to do it after, and you can get another alt herbalism up. See here, you guessed it, I made a mistake. I should have tagged this guy first. But the alternative, I was assuming that I was alone, the alternative to doing this this one first is I kill this one, because this is a den watcher, which is irrelevant for our quest, but he is on a spawn spot that can either spawn a den watcher, as you've seen here, or a shaman. So I need to kill these guys to, you know, hopefully have a shaman next. So now that the others are on our way, and it looks like we have a bit more competition this round. There we go, let's take this guy first. Alright. So I tag him with a fire blast, I counterspell him to not get any damage, and I sheep the guy until the rest is here. And there they are. And then I'm no longer in a hurry. I need some mana anyway, so let's use that, and our good friend here is already taking care of the shaman for us, so we're good. Now in this camp, this looks a bit more like it should be. What we're doing is we run loot as free-for-all, because very often, as you can see, we're spread out, and you don't want to have to loot the thing that just, you know, died over there. So what you do in a group is you just switch to FFA and, you know, just keep it, you know, cool among yourselves. Just loot what you tag first and don't overdo it. Just be cool about it and loot whatever, because there'll be plenty for everybody. No need to, you know, make a big deal out of it. You will also loot these spirit beads, and again you will accumulate Timbermore reputation at the same time. You will get exalted way before you get your Frostsaber, so don't worry about that too much either. Just pick it up along the line, but don't spend these. Like, I have not spent them as well. I think you should have just seen. Let's see if I get the next one. I think I should have plenty of these. You just farm until you're the one before Exalted. Basically, I forgot the name for it. Let's check. That is not friendly, honored, revered. Yeah. Until you're revered, you don't do anything with these beads. You just collect them, and once you are, you can just hand them in all at once, and you'll easily get exalted. So loot FFA is important. The other thing that's important is you need to know where this stuff is spawning, because this camp is, well, it has spawn spots for these mobs, and there are three types of mobs. There are the Den Watchers, which we don't care about. There are the Shamans, which are the rarest, and these are the ones with the highest priority. And then there's the Ursas, which I can show you in a second, because they are not down here. Let's see if there's some. Yeah, these guys, the Ursas. So in this camp here in the beginning, this is where you want to be if you are short on Shamans, because there are 3 spawn spots over here, 1, 2, 3. And there's another 3 over here, one, the second one's here, and then there's another one over here. So 6 spawn spots, which can be either Den Watchers or Shamans. Then there is one other spawn spot. This is this guy. That's a Den Watcher that's patrolling from the very back all the way. Oh, it's with my camera today. All the way sort of over there. But this can also either be a Den Watcher or a Shaman. So if you have nothing to do at all, as I have right now, you want to kill this guy to see if there is a shaman spawning. The guy can walk over all the way over here. I'm not entirely sure if there's another these sort of double spawn spots over here, but there can also be a shaman over here. Same story. You just want to take a look every once in a while if there's someone there. Now the second part of the camp is up here. This is a collection of another 2 spawn spots. Here it's either Shamans or Ursas. So if you need both, you want to be either here. There's 2 spawn spots here. There's another 1 and 2 over here, and 2 over here. So these are either Ursas or Shamans. And then there is sort of this ridge over here, which is predominantly Ursa spawn spots. There's like 4 Ursa spawn spots over here and 1 Shaman spawn spot. But again, this like down there, this is a mixed spot between either a Shaman or a Den Watcher, and the guy spawns over here and then walks all the way across this ridge this way. Another Ursa spot here, here, and a third one over here. These are sort of your spawn locations. So what you do is, at the beginning of the quest, I missed sort of my exit here, but we're done, but I'm gonna stay for a minute. You wanna just take whatever you get, but eventually you'll either reach the point where you're short on Shamans or short on Ursas, and if you're short on Ursas, you go up on that ridge and keep an eye on this side, like right now, another Ursa. If you're short on Shamans, you go down there in the camp and keep an eye up here. And you check the other locations only infrequently. I don't want to waste too much time, so I'm going to go back, but I'll talk about the rest of this area once I return for the next trip. So that's pretty much how this camp is split up, and it really helps to know where the mobs are spawning, because if you're there, I mean, today is Sunday, we did this afternoon, there were like 2 groups there at the same time, 10 people, and every single spawn spot had somebody on them. And the difference there is just knowing where you have to stand and then, well, be ready for the spawn. I lost my buffs, not a big deal. I'm not gonna rebuff now. Actually, I am. I have full mana, I should. And if I was smart, I wouldn't have done this right now, but I would have waited until I was down there. Again, no reshots on this one. Can't turn this bar back anyway, so whatever. If you take a bit of fall damage here, it doesn't matter either. What matters is that the shield is up, so that you don't get dismounted, and that you don't fall too far behind your friends. You can slack a bit if you have a fast mount, but the important part is that you start at the same time and you finish at the same. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. This guy, if you see this guy, you just want to fuck off, because this is a hunter doing his epic quest. You cannot help. You should not. If you hit the mob, you make the hunter fail his quest. He'll hate you forever. Don't ever do that. And the mob can one-shot you if you ever aggro them. So you have to keep an eye out. If you ride down through this valley, there's a chance that a hunter will do his quest, but there's also a chance that a hunter failed his quest and this guy is just standing around somewhere. So keep an eye out for this, because this guy will one-shot you, and that really sucks. If you get one-shot somewhere over here, your best bet is take the revive over here, walk to the camp, and have your buddies farm one out for you. You just wait the 10 minutes, you take the round for free. It happens to anybody, not a big deal, but don't walk up and as a ghost and then come down. That's a huge waste of time. Don't do that. Here, so again, no Black Lotus, it would be right over here. I'm switching to mining because there can be a thorium deposit over there. Didn't see one either. And we can hand in our quest. Intrusion. Take it up. You can build a macro for this to speed it up, but I don't think it doesn't make a big difference. You want to click away this buff, because yeah, if you're on your mount, it doesn't always work. And you continue. Alright, I'm taking the fast way again, because at this point, like, I mean, look at this. I really don't care about anything else besides finishing this. You know, right there. This ice cap, don't take it. You have to kill at least 1 tiger for it. It takes forever. Not worth it. There's stuff here on this mountain you can take that's a bit less annoying, but yeah, you gotta save time wherever you can. So I'm basically 2 quests away from finishing this whole thing. Wow. Again, I think about 180 hours or something. I lost count. There's something else I can highly recommend you doing. I'm not showing it here right now, but if you're running Chrome, you can just watch YouTube and use the picture-in-picture function to overlay YouTube on your WoW interface. and you just watch whatever at the same time. You can do the same thing with a Netflix app. I did both of those things. I really recommend it. You will get bored eventually, and I finished a bunch of TV shows at the same time. So, we're on our way back. Second before last run. We caught up to our friends. Now again a little bit ahead of the curve here. I don't think I'm gonna finish this. I could finish this quest now, you know, and just kill a few mobs, but we're good on time, and at this point, yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty excited. I'm not gonna lie. This is a pretty cool moment here. So we're coming back to the camp, and there's one part that I didn't talk about yet, and that is if you continue down this way. What is this? A rich thorium vein. Yeah, that's everything else is dead. Let's prioritize this for now, because there's always. Oops, what am I doing here? That's some issue with my mouse. I don't know. There's always somebody interested in this. Basically, there's like, I would say there's like four kind of people that you find in this camp. Type number 1 are the mining and herbalism farmers. Those are guys which are basically just riding through, checking the nodes if they're there. There is, oh, let's do that first. There is one rich thorium that can spawn over here. The other one you have seen that can spawn over here on this one. And then there is 2 more. Let's go there quickly. One of them will spawn, I can't go through here, will spawn right over here where I'm now. And then there is a 4th one that will spawn right over here. Those are the 4 ones which are sort of within the camp. There's a 5th one over there at the entrance of the cave, which is right over here, yeah, sort of on this brink. There is also a spawn spot for Mountain Silver Sage, which is here. There's one spawn spot for an ice cap, which is here. There is a spawn spot for another Mountain Silver Sage, which is up here on that little corner. There is another ice cap over here. There's another ice cap over there. There is another Silver Sage over there on this little thing. But the most important is that there are 2, in fact, 2 spawn spots for Black Lotus fairly close to here. One is, I believe, on the Wowhead map. That's where I got it from. One, I think, is not. And that is, there is a Black Lotus spawn over there on this ledge in front of the Yeti cave. So you want to, every once in a while, you just want to ride over here, you know, switch to herbalism and check if there's a Black Lotus over there. Another Black Lotus spawns in between sort of these 2 tents. The spawn spot for that one is right over here. Wait, friends. Somebody else just came online. Eventually you'll have everybody who does the same thing on your friend list, and you'll just invite them as they pass by. Last part. There's a spawn spot here for an Ursa and a Shaman. Either one. And there's High Chief Winterfall, patrolling with always a Shaman and an Ursa. There's a very easy way to do this. You sheep the guy, you... Come on! What kind of freaking comedic timing is this? So you sheep you sheep the big guy, then you kill the Shaman first. Then you kill the Ursa, and then you kill the big guy. He can heal if you crit him. He doesn't. But you want to check the cave every once in a while if he's there. Another very nice side effect of this is, until you're revered, you will get 5 reputation for the Timber Hold from all of these mobs. However, only until then. After that, the only way you get reputation here is by turning on the beads that you collect over time, and by killing this dude, which gives us 25 reputation. There we go. For Timbermaw. And, well, I could do the math, but as you can see, I am currently at 7,149 just by killing the guy. I did not do anything else, so that is, I don't know, too many kills. We just finished another round, a second before last. I'm just gonna communicate to my guys that I'm almost done. Alright, everybody's pretty... I didn't really communicate it all the time how far I was, but... well. Anyway. So... Timbermaw reputation is a side effect that you get. You will get exalted, you get a bunch of mats. But the most important side effect of this whole thing, without a doubt, is you'll meet a bunch of people. You'll find a bunch of friends through this. You will create boundaries with a bunch of people because you'll spend a huge amount of time together, and you will end up with a really, really large friend list. Because the one thing I haven't mentioned so far is, contrary to popular belief, this is a social challenge. Why? I've mentioned before that there are 4 types of players that you meet in this camp. Number 1, the farmers. They're pretty irrelevant. They're just basically nomads passing by. They pick up their stuff, they leave again. I've gotten this mounted here at least 100 times, I think. Anyway. Group number 2 are other saber farmers. You will, well, you will see them frequently. You will usually end up in the same group like this. And you will make each other's lives better. Group number 3 are people who are doing the Timbermaw quest line. So these are usually people who are not 60 yet, they're alts, they're questing there, but however they have to kill the same mobs with you. Which means you will want to have a group of 5 people all the time, because you will want anybody who kills stuff in this camp in your group. It makes no sense to do it otherwise. You just switch loot to FFA, everybody gets what they kill, but you do absolutely want everybody to be in your group. And that means you will have to convince a ton of people to play with you. You will have to, you know, make yourself a hello macro, make yourself another macro that says welcome once they join your group. That's at least how I did it. And you will have to reach out to these players to get them on board. And the 4th group, unfortunately, you will also find people who just don't understand that it's better to play a multiplayer game with multiple people at the same time. There are people who prefer to play alone, which is just bad for everybody, and they will, you know, they will end up farming some stuff, but they will end up being hated by everybody. I guarantee it. You do not want to play alone in this furball camp. You want to be in a group. Do not be the guy who plays alone. Everybody else will hate you for it. Now, if you're successful at this, you will never have any trouble to be in a group. You will always be supported by people when you do this, and you will always be surrounded by others who would do the same thing, even though it's admittedly a pretty insane thing to do. It was great to do it. One thing I haven't talked about yet is you have one cooldown that you want to manage, which is your Hearthstone, which should be at Everlook. So every once in a while you have it ready, and then you go back just to save yourself one trip backwards. They're ahead of me a bit. I don't care too much. I'm gonna savor this a little, if you bear with me for a moment, because there's something else I gotta talk to you about. So you use the Hearthstone to get back, but you mostly do this if your inventory is full, like you can see right now. And there's two things you want to do that can make your life a lot easier. I'm gonna reactivate it now. Which is, you want to have a tool that automatically sells all the scrap, all the gray stuff you have in your inventory. Because you frequently need to come back to Everlook and just clean house. You find so much stuff that you need to think about what to do with it. So in my case, I am using an add-on that just automatically kills all the gray stuff. Now, let's go back, okay, because it's important. I take my hearthstone, and then I have my scrap seller, so I just go over here, talk to this dude, repair my stuff, sell all the junk, so you can see everything's gone. Have a bag add-on, I can recommend that to sort of resort your things. And then the second thing, you want to have TSM installed, Trade Skull Master, because it has an epic post function. And if you have assigned your groups correctly, all you need to do is mail groups. As you can see in my inventory, that's it. Everything disappears. So the whole process of cleaning your inventory and getting ready for the next round takes under 10 seconds. That I really recommend you to do. Otherwise you spend like half an hour here sorting out what stuff goes to where. I have like, I don't know, 6 or 7 bank jars or something where I just send the stuff. I don't even, sell it or deal with it that much. I just send my stuff so that I don't have to deal with it on my main, and then I have a clean inventory to, focus on other things. Speaking of focusing on other things, I am not focused right now because I need some more cash. You still need to buy the thing, unfortunately. And I'm getting a bit, well, excited about this. Sorry for this. Yeah. Because unfortunately, I mean, you would think after, what we've just done that, well, the Winterspring dudes would be happy with you, but no, you still need to pay for the mount. And the other stuff, that's something, for later. So let's head back. The guys are already nice at work, which is another situation you can be in. You can be in a situation where your team has already started because you were late for whatever reason. So you're desynchronized with them. What do I do now? Okay, now, well, likely they're ahead of me significantly, and unfortunately the group is only as fast as its slowest member. The only way to go about this is, well, to suck it up, kind of. Like, I am the one behind, and unless, it's only like one shaman or one Ursa, which is sort of the difference if you're out of range, you should wait around. Like, you should not, force your team to stay here for another 2 shamans, because if you're unlucky, that can be like 5 to 10 minutes. Well, maybe not that much, but too much to make it worthwhile for 4 people to wait for you. So in that case, when that happens, you just soak up as many of those as you can, and then you can either, depending on what you prefer to do, you can either go outside and collect the meat, which is actually what I'm gonna do, because I think I'm almost done with it anyway. It's probably faster for me now to do this. Yeah, 4 out of 5, 2 out of 5. We should be able to do this. But you can also stay there and then stay longer, or wait for them, or you can go AFK. One thing that's really nice about being in a group like this is it is absolutely perfectly and totally fine if you go AFK in the village. Nobody will ever blame you. It's, I don't know, bathroom, door, kitchen, coffee, whatever, it doesn't matter. It can be half an hour, it can be 2 hours, nobody cares. The important part is that you stay in there, you tell people you're AFK, you park yourself right in the middle, and you just take, the passive, you just take the mobs from them finishing the quest. You leech a little bit of gold, but nobody cares about that. And unless you're already revered, you will also get the Timbermaw reputation. We had one dude that was just, he had a secondary character that he was just parking in the camp whenever we had less than 5 people. That's fine. It's not a big deal. People can do that. It makes everybody's life a bit easier, and it's just very chill if you can just peace out for half an hour or something and do something else. That is a massive advantage of playing in a group. Well, I think I've covered almost everything so far. Thinking about stuff that I might have missed. I'm pretty excited to finally finish this long journey, because let's face it, it is pretty damn long. You should be very clear about this when you start. We had we had somebody who was like, I'm doing this quest, once a day, just after work, and then I think it takes like something like 3 years, if that's as much as you play. So it will take, I think, cautiously estimate, it will take 200 hours to do this. That's something you need to be aware of. You cannot speed it up much. You can be lucky, you can have good days, you can have bad days, but it's a huge amount of time that this takes, and there's no way around that. So that's something I think you want to decide before you start. If that's something you want to do, you will also always do the same thing. Everything you've seen here so far is exactly the same as you would have seen in the last 100 hours I did this. So whether or not that's your definition of fun, I'm certainly nobody to judge. One cool thing I want to mention is I found a lot of stuff while doing this. Yes, it's not efficient. Like, this is not, don't start thinking this is efficient, this is how we want to make money or something. It is absolutely not. I found a lot of stuff because I spent 200 hours at this, but anything you spend 200 hours at this game will give you a ton of stuff, and likely also a ton of money. But I did find, among other things, I found a full stack of Black Lotus, I found a full stack of Arcane Crystals, I have a full bank jar of Ice Caps and Mountain Silver Sage. That is probably more than I will need for the rest of my time playing this game. I have enough Rune Cloth to level another character to Exalted. I will have a Night Elf Hunter on a what's the thing called that the gnomes are riding? The Robo. You know what I mean. It looks awful, but I think I cannot care about that at this point. I also found 2 random epics. Shield, the sort of Skull Flame Shield. I found the Tank Shoulders. I forgot their name as well. So all in all, in terms of gold, it was okay. But it's more sort of, you will get surprised every once in a while by the vast loot tables that these guys have. You can see I'm using an add-on called Farmlock at this point that tells me roughly, don't ignore this, but it tells me what these guys have dropped. You can see at this point I have 177 shamans. You can guess that you have a roughly 50% chance to drop Rune Cloth. That's, I think, great to know. So 2 mobs, 1 Rune Cloth, roughly. Same you can see here for the Ursas, roughly 50% drop chance. You will get major healing potions, which is very nice to have. You will get Is it the major, or am I talking about the wrong thing? Yeah, major. So you get major mana potions. So I have a bunch of stacks on my bank that I then use, of course, when I'm raiding. You will find the Winterfall echoes, but also echoes from the others that you kill. The Chillwind echo and the what's it called? The Shardtooth echo. You can sell these at the auction house. Nice, now we're done. This was the final piece of meat. We would technically be able to get this freaking thing now. And you find Winterfall Firewater, so both the where is it? The Winterfall echoes as well as the Winterfall Firewater melees like to use. I think the warriors are very happy about this stuff. I just sold it. I made money. You'll find blue stuff every once in a while. And eventually you will memorize the loot table. Not sure that's a good thing, but it happens. Alright. A final thing that I want to mention is I'm going to put a macro in the descriptions. When the camp is really overcrowded, it matters to get the first hit off. So you want to use a specific target macro. In my case, it's this one. So target the Winterfall Shaman. You set a raid marker. That is important because you can set... let me just go back. I promise I'm not delaying this on purpose. You can go back and you can set a raid marker on the shaman that you're focusing. And that is important for two reasons. One, you can see the raid markers through the terrain. So you will be able to see where the mob is even if the mob is not in sight. And also everybody else will see that. So you can help your group mark shamans anywhere they are in this camp. And then you want to cast a Fire Blast rank 1. That's for two reasons. Oh, you see? So, I moved my macro, but this is it. See? So I am targeting it. I'm putting a marker on it. I chose orange because that's sort of one of the easiest colors to recognize here. Don't use the skull. It's white. It's difficult to see in the snow sometimes. But pick whatever you like. I should have gotten this, but I was out of range because I also have the rank 1 Fire Blast. I just fix something really quick. Action bar is lock. This should be here. There we go. Because I have this on a mouse button. Like I'm spamming this when I'm here. See? Now, okay. Now what? There you go. See? Over here. This is why I have this macro. Like there was no way I was gonna see this guy otherwise. The range on the target macro is insane. So you can have something like this, and then I would typically ping my team. Look, there's one over here. I'll ride over here. So this guy didn't even see it. Oh, there's two of them. And then I'm tagging it, and I'm tagging it with a Fire Blast rank 1 because, as you can see, it doesn't look like as if he has taken damage. And okay, think about it, what you will, but it looks to everybody else as if this mob is not tagged yet, although it is. Because what matters is whether or not you're first and not whether or not you got the mob. Same thing here. I'm gonna blink, I'm gonna mark this, and I'm gonna get it. See? Because unfortunately he's a warrior and there's, yeah, you will never beat a mage at tagging. But as long as it looks like it's not tagged, everybody else will, spam high damage spells on it, and usually something like this can happen where you get a mob that's kind of half killed for free. Doesn't make a difference, but the other important reason I'm doing this is because you also want to be able to tag a mob. And, I'm not doing this because I'm trying to be an asshole, but I do want to be able to tag a mob if I have 0 mana, And the difference between a max rank Fire Blast and rank 1, this one takes 40 mana, this one takes 340, and that's a huge difference. So always take the rank 1 over here, over the max rank, because you will, that will make that will be the difference whether or not you get the mob. And then you just basically stand here, in my case, and just spam macro, because there we go, hello, there we go, it's tagged. It's pretty hard to beat somebody at using this macro. I'll put it in the description. People are asking for me in chat. I think I should finally move up. Alright, let's go for the last chip. Whew. I'm hyped, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just speechless. I've done this for so long that it feels surreal to, you know, do this trip for the last time. So let's see that I do this properly. This is where you wanna recast your buffs, not like I did it before. Alright, so yeah, I'm back up here. This is where you would find the lotus. It's down here on this little... yeah, it's right here, basically. And switching to thorium and going back up. Let's go. Whew, fuck me. Okay, and now you get this one. You get this freaking final option. You can buy ammo. Yes, 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 yes! Okay. Damn. Time for the victory lap. Oh, I was almost taking the wrong one. Time to switch this one permanently. Okay, if you're still here, thanks for watching. This was this was a pretty epic moment. That's also why I wanted to record this. And now I'm gonna head to Ironforge, I think. Yeah. Yeah, okay, anyway, so this is not the best way to end the video. I'm just honestly a bit exhausted. I'm speechless. I'm super happy. I'll probably never use another mount as long as I play this game. I had this mount before in the original iteration. I never use anything else. I think it's my favorite by far. Yeah, and I think I'll just, head to Ironforge and celebrate this with my guild now. Who is raiding? I had to skip on one for this, but well, I had to skip on many things to make this possible. So, one final word of caution: if you do this, you also have have to make a very conscious decision against doing a lot of other things. It means you will not get a lot of stuff, a lot of time together with your guildmates, because you'll be here all the time. You will not do as much. You will not see a lot of content, so to speak, in this game. You have to focus on this to make it work, but in my opinion, it is, and I can highly encourage you to do this. I wish you all the best. I wish you a ton of fun. Best of luck, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Take care.